Joel Pearl, are you ready to talk some sports entertainment?
What are we doing, the Mr. Kennedy gimmick?
Yeah. Fuck, I miss him.
Oh, I mean, I don't, but at least I can come in hot.
If you tell me Mr. Kennedy's a bastard too, I'm gonna stop watching wrestling. I'm sick of this shit. I can't like anything. It sucks. Everyone's an asshole.
Listen. It's not about who sucks in wrestling. It's just about who wasn't that great in wrestling. Anderson
he
was
wasn't
fine.
that great in ring, which I barely care about. So
that's fine. You just want the gimmicks.
I do I like in-ring action at the pay-per-views. I literally don't give a shit what happens on the TV shows. I'm more interested in backstagers and fucking promos.
So you want the storytelling to get you excited for the rest of the stuff.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Because there's a pay-per-view. Like, there's so much wrestling. I don't care about the wrestling week to week, and it's always better when I can watch it like 2 inches in the indies. So like screw TV wrestling.
You mean 2 inches away, right?
Yeah, 2 inches away.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Some people are happy with 2 inches, and some people want a little bit more. That's fine.
No, sir, that's insufficient.
Hey, listen, I'm not here to tell people what to like, but I am here to tell you that you should like this video if you want to enjoy some Tim and Joel pod like we are here right now every single Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and Sundays at noon Eastern. We do SmackPack.
Oh, yeah, we do that too.
Dive into the whole gimmick, and we do the thing, and we talk about Smackdown, and we talk about Impact, and NXT UK, and we talk about AEW now. We talk about Dynamite because, by the time
we talk about Dynamite twice at this point. Oh my god.
Listen, we're not going to talk about Dark Elevation. We're not going to talk about Dark.
Hell no.
Rampage doesn't start for another month and a week, so may as well do the thing. Speaking of doing the thing,
I can't wait to look at those rectangle waveforms later when I go to put the audio version out, because I clip the fuck out of the mic. I keep swearing too. I don't know.
That's fine. That's what we're here for. Friends, yes, we do have a Discord link. It's in the description of the video. If you're listening to us in audio form, just to get the plug out of the way, go ahead, drop us a 5-star review. It helps us get our voices into your friends' ears and into the ears of other wrestling fans, and that's what we're here for. We're here to share wrestling. We're not here to shit on things. We're going to shit on some Raw.
I'm going to shit on some things.
We're going to hang out here. We're going to talk about some stuff, and what we talk about is subjective, because guess what? Wrestling is subjective art. I learned that a long time ago. Nobody's right in how they perceive and enjoy their wrestling. So, Tim, let's talk about Raw.
Okay.
The good news is this is the second last Raw in the Thunderdome.
Thank God. I'm tired of... Oh, man, I don't know. Whatever. The fans will probably be terrible, too. You excited for what?
Oh, yes. I'm excited for what? I'm excited for CM Punk. What?
Yeah. What?
Did you see that Kevin Nash is going to be on Stone Cold Sessions?
That's cool. I should watch some of those because I like Stone Cold as an interviewer. He's good. And sometimes those interviews are interesting. And I just don't watch them because there's too much stuff to watch in the world.
There is. It's become my Sunday when there's no pay-per-view, no wrestling, no nothing on TV. I'll pop it on in the afternoon. It's a good watch. Like you said, Austin's a really good interviewer. And with Nash, Nash will just sit there and tell you all about all the shit he did for money. And you'll laugh because he doesn't care.
He's a cool guy. He's done interesting things, and he's stood up for interesting things, and it's good.
Yeah, he's Big Daddy cool, you might call him.
Don't tell me he's a bastard. I don't want to know. I'm tired.
No, he's actually...
He's not a bastard. I need a banner to unfurl every time we identify a wrestler who is not a bastard.
That's right.
I need a button. I'm gonna do it. I'll do it digitally at some point. That's what I'll do.
Oh my God! It just falls in front of your face.
It's very easy. I could probably whip that up for next week, y'all.
Amazing. It just says "not a bastard" and it plays
a little bit of confetti and like one of those little horn things.
Yeah, you know that. Well, you know that. It just plays that. Anyway. So yeah, we talk about Raw. So it's taped next week. It's the final week in the Thunderdome. This full week is the last week in the Thunderdome, and then guess what? We're back on the road. I don't know if you heard about this, but they're back on the road.
Oh, they're back on the road. They actually, to their credit, they toned that shit down a little bit.
They did. I mean, they'll kick off the show just because they're like, we're almost out of the thunder. Now it's no longer we're going on the road. It's now, holy shit, we're finally leaving. I'm so excited to leave this
place
god-awful
smells
place.
like wet socks. Like what?
Yeah. Anyway, so we open with Miss TV, and the promo was awful. And I'm a genuinely positive guy when it comes to Raw most weeks. This is the first week where I've been like, this was bad.
I love Ricochet in ring, and it pains me that he's such a like pungent dork when he opens his mouth. Like
you got a problem with R to the I to the C to the O to the C to the H to the E to the T.
I also want that again. Same thing with Johnny Drip Drip. I love John Morrison. It frustrates me that this is the gimmick that Vince was like, yeah, do that one. It's because like this is the crux of the problem with this show is that it feels like it's written by a 70-year-old out of touch man. Like,
I have breaking news for you then.
The concept of Johnny Drip Drip is what? That the drip is slang for stylish? Like what John Morrison has produced out of this feels like what a boomer would do with that information. Like,
well, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's awful. It's annoying. So,
let's rewind a couple of days to the weekend. John Morrison posted on his social media an excellent promo on Ricochet about their rematch. And most people were like, yeah, this rematch is going to be great. This is going to be awesome. Morrison pops out of the water and he does all the stupid water gimmicks, but it's really funny.
Yeah.
Because he's dripping wet. He walked out of the water.
Like this, he's killing it. He's doing a great job. It's just, oh God, I can't wait till they transition out of it. They're doing a great job of using Miz's injury as an opportunity to push Morrison, which I am all about. Like, they're doing a really good job with that. I appreciate these matches that Ricochet is having because, again, last night, great in ring. Like, that was a great match between the two of them because they both have amazing chemistry. It's just like, we're just going to get the same match on the pay-per-view. It's the same thing with that we saw with Sheamus and Riddle. Like, they just don't have a proper finish, and then they run 90% of the same match on the pay-per-view, and it's unfulfilling. Like,
yeah, so we get to Ricochet and Jomo, and like you said, it's a count-out victory for John Morrison after last week's double count-out, and I'm sitting there, like, they're going to, even before, like, when they announced the match, I'm sitting there, like, they're going to go for it a third week. Like, there's no way Vince is like, I can't do the Vince voice right now, but they wanted to do it every single week because this is the problem that they've been having with booking Money in the Bank from one show to the other. Raw and SmackDown have not been able, SmackDown's been able to book Money in the Bank much stronger, but also a lot weaker because they're still doing the same matches over and over again, but this time with Money in the Bank qualifier attached to it. That's the negative, but they're spacing them out in a 2-hour show. Meanwhile, on Raw, they did all of the matches in 1 week, and everyone was like, this is great. These are fresh matchups. I'm excited. And now we're 3 weeks in, and we're back to square one. Everything's a repeat. Everything's the same old shit. Like, we're not getting anywhere with it.
Like, it's crazy. It's like variations on a theme is all that WWE programming is right now, where they take this, they come up with a nugget of an idea, and then they just kind of play around with it a little bit for a month. And it, like, eventually something interesting happens, but like they're not creating moments like they used to more regularly. It like, I'm not seeing interesting things. I'm seeing like clunky writing and then just the same thing slightly modified week in, week out. And like, I would almost bet on it that John Morrison and Ricochet are going to have a hell of a time and some great spots in the Money in the Bank match. Neither one of them wins, and this feud continues into the next pay-per-view where they both have a one-on-one match. Like,
if they do that, and what are we doing? Is it for a title? It's because it's SummerSlam the next one.
SummerSlam. Crap. So never mind. It's probably a Miz Morrison tag match. Ricochet has some miscellaneous partner.
And we don't know what's going on with Miz yet because he's still in a wheelchair. And, you know, that was what cost the victory for Ricochet because he couldn't move around the wheelchair for some reason. It's very strange. I don't know what it was going on. It's very strange.
Well, he was preventing him from getting back in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he could have jumped over it because that's just what it is. So going back to the Miz TV promo, Drew and also this will kind of everyone kind of comes together through this Miss TV promo.
Yeah, the whole show comes together from it. It sets up the whole thing, which is like
it's normal.
It's not good if it sucks.
It's normal. It's every week. It's the same stuff. It's just, anyway, so Drew comes out and he gives this history lesson. He does the Davy Crockett is my cousin, and it makes no sense. And then later on in the night, because he's got a match with Jinder, and we'll get to the Jinder thing in a sec, he says Nessie and Loch Ness Monster and Drew are now like best friends because he put him in a rear naked choke and he hit him with the Claymore, and Nessie says that Drew is going to win Money in the Bank.
Yeah, something about a tooth and a sword that sounded like sod. But anyway. Which is not Scottish. Like, he just said sword weird.
He lost his voice. If the Loch Ness Monster, a creature that doesn't exist, says that Drew McIntyre is winning Money in the Bank, safe to say Drew is not winning Money in the Bank.
100%. He sounds crazy, and he keeps rambling. And what are these things they're making him say?
It feels like he's just trying to get his... He's trying to get his shit off before they ship him off to another brand. That's really all it feels like. So Jinder rides up in his motorcycle. So Jinder's now
Jinder rides a motorcycle. There you go. Introduce that.
The motorcycle Maharaja.
Okay. Sure. And this is news to me.
It's news to all of us. He comes in and I'm just like, oh, the Undertaker. Oh, no, it's not. So Jinder comes up and he does the motorcycle thing. And he gets off and Kevin Patrick's just like, hey, what's going on? And Jinder's just like, hey, I wanted to have lunch with Drew or hang out with Drew and ride bikes. But then Drew was too busy, two with a two and not TOO.
Again,
grammar is the problem.
Stopping you. This is another old man thing. Like, being upset about leet speak is something that only somebody like that out of touch would give a shit about. Like, Vince McMahon upset, so it's disrespectful to not type out the word two in full every time. Fuck off.
The two of them have a good match.
Yeah,
it's a good match.
There's a lot of headlocks. I don't like lengthy headlock matches, but it was good. It was good.
And then they do the 3MB kip up callback thing where Drew does the guitar, and it's cute. And I was just like, yeah, it does the air guitar. It's fun. And now we're feuding. Literally, the beat goes from his grammar is terrible to I'm stealing his sword.
Yeah, which, like, can we not... This is not important. That is not important. They had the feud set up. Like, I'm upset I lost my friend. We can't ride bikes no more. Sure, whatever. Like, it's wrestling. You got there. You can build up interesting things as the weeks go on. You didn't need to add that stupid layer to it. I'm taking your sword that's not your sword. Your family heirloom that he clunkily got out is what he said, right? Family heirloom.
Okay. So... they're going to feud over the sword. Veer and Shanky are part of this whole thing.
As long as someone gets impaled, it's all worth it.
That's right. I'm down for that. And yeah, listen, this is probably going to go into SummerSlam. I get that. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. But Drew needs two friends for the inevitable six-man tag. Who are the two friends that Drew is going to enlist for this match?
Sheamus
is a heel, though.
No, they bury the hatchet, and then they're friends again because they have accents.
Sheamus also still has the U.S. title. Does he drop it next week to Humberto Carrillo?
Yeah, probably. No, I don't know. I don't know. Drew has no friends. He's unhinged.
Does he get Lucha House Party?
Oh my god.
They won a match last night.
He'd be a better fit with Extinction. You know, he's all about history and off his rocker right now. He might as well go hang out with Mason T-Bar.
That'd be fine with me. You can turn Mason T-Bar. They can be like, because right now they're playing the gimmick on Twitter that they won the match despite not winning the match.
They lost by the most powerful move in all of wrestling. So give them some credit.
It's true. You got to get the roll up in.
Yeah, it won 2 matches last night.
It did. Oh, they always win 2 matches, maybe more if you got a 24/7 title on you. Right? I'm trying so hard not to say Viking Raiders because I don't want it to be the same tag team every time.
No.
But it's what they'll do. It's just what they'll do.
Give them Mason T-Bar. They're going to be faces anyway. They're too funny. I don't know why they aren't calling them Extinction yet. I guess Vince didn't like that.
Right.
So it's better to put Mace & T-Bar instead of giving them a tag team name.
God damn, they need to know who they are.
I came up with those names. I came up with them.
Yes, you did, Vince. Yes, you did. 4-on-4 women's tag match. Oh my god. Alexa said she's going to win Money in the Bank, so she's not.
No.
Nikki Ash is officially her name. She got the lower third. It's now Nikki Ash with the flashy flash. Doudrop and Eva, they coexisted tonight.
I hate this character. It's annoying. Did she use Black Widow as an example of a superhero? Isn't Black Widow not like endowed with superpowers?
Hey, let me finish the bit first.
Fine, finish the stupid bit. This match sucked.
Doudrop and Eva coexisted tonight, and Shania Payne persists. There, now the gimmick is over. Yes, did she use Black Widow? Probably did. I didn't listen that hard.
Yeah, because it was bad. You know what? Okay, let's look for some silver linings here. I still like Shayna and Nia. I don't give a crap anymore. I like them.
Fair. They're entertaining.
You know what I think? I think that Reggie glued them together in a way that is very interesting to me. And they should keep them around because we need more women's tag competitors.
Okay.
Okay. Other silver lining.
So Naomi and Asuka are wearing close to matching gear, and that's fine. There's another tag team for you.
Don't do that. It's not going to end well for one of them. One of them is going to get fired.
They're just shuffling Asuka to every single tag person she can have.
She always wanted to tag with a superhero.
No, that's coming too.
Other exposition.
It was
the arc of Asuka is evolving. We now know that she's always wanted to tag with a superhero.
Just a whole lot of nothing in this match. That's really all it was.
It was waffle, like it was a waffle of a match. It just they're like, and we repeated the same thing that we're doing every week, where Eva Marie screeches the name Eva Marie as if that's character development.
It's heat. That's heat.
That's it. Exactly.
That's all it is.
Like, I get it. I like you're not adding. I'm the same level of irritated as I was last week, except this week I watched Doudrop not do very well. So I don't know.
That's her new name. Not do very well.
Yeah, there you go. Not do very well, comma Doudrop. Last name, first name.
There you go. Let's talk about people who do well. That's Mansoor. Except now his undefeated streak is officially over.
This I'm okay with. What I'm not okay with is the fact that it was 2.5 minutes long. Like, I don't... Why even put it on? That's very frustrating to me. Like, I get that they're trying to advance the story, but you can tell the priority that this has in that it is near the very absolute bottom. Like, maybe just above the 24/7 title, and it's one of the more interesting stories they're telling on the show right now, and they don't even realize it.
No, they realize it. The problem is they assume that everyone else doesn't care.
Yeah,
which is untrue. We know this is untrue. But anyway, he'll get his win back on main event next week.
I honestly, I don't give a shit about Mansoor's record. Like,
yeah, and it's a great story, like you were saying. But the problem was he lost with the stupid babyface syndrome roll-up.
Yeah, which was
can't pay attention. And he got rolled up.
That's three. That's three matches that won by roll-up.
The only reason I'm going to give it, I'll give you a silver lining. Mansoor is new. Mm-hmm. He didn't know better. He got caught. Live and learn. If they play that up in the future of their feud, then guess what? I retract this as a bad finish. They have to prove to me, though, that they're going to work on that. And that's part of the problem of why people take issue with what goes on in WWE as a whole when it comes week to week. They don't work week. They work week to week, but they're not working on a long-term story basis. They're working towards the moment.
That's what's frustrating to me, because like this has the potential to turn into something good, but it does feel like it's just put together at the last minute rather than like with a proper board with everything planned out. And you know, like I know they produce these documents. These documents absolutely exist in their like writer's room, but they just consistently have to throw them out or like scratch everything out because of Vince. Like that's got to be it.
Yeah.
Because they're hiring capable TV writers. So
they are.
I don't know.
We basically gotten to the point where, yeah, exactly. We know who writes the show. We know who's part of it. We know who makes the decision. And at the end of the day, it's an audience of one that you are trying to pitch to. And it's frustrating. What else is going on in the show? AJ Styles had a match. He lost. They're doing AJ Nomos versus the Viking Raiders in 2 weeks. That'll be the first Raw with live fans. So cool. Why not?
Yeah. I think that's got a good match to go. And I mean, AJ and Riddle was good. They were good. They were very good.
Sure. Charlotte and Rhea.
Okay, so with the Ali and Mansoor thing.
Yes.
Rhea getting to the ring and saying the first thing that she said was just like 20 seconds less than the entire Ali versus Mansoor match. Like,
right.
if there was ever a time to cut to commercial and then come back when she's getting in the ring, that was it. Like, the lack of comedic sensibility and the timing of that was like, it was funny. It was a funny bit, and then it just kept going for literally 2 minutes.
Yeah,
which is
she
awful.
took her sweet time. She took
Like,
her
that was
sweet
so
time getting to the ring.
stupid. And again, both of their acting is so wooden. And like the entirety of the concept for this feud is mirror images. Like, are they going to end up being tag team? Like, are they going to become a tag team down the road? Is that what this is? What is the point of this? I don't care. Like, I don't like Charlotte Flair that much, and now I don't like Rhea Ripley, and I really did before.
They're both annoying, and I hate both of them. And I shouldn't feel that way. I should want to like one of them. And quite frankly, if you switch the situation and Charlotte was a champion and Rhea was doing these things still, then she would be cheered for it. Because she's calling out the heel on being dastardly, underhanded,
well, that's the thing.
injury.
They're dastardly. Like,
yes.
that's the entirety of the concept for this. They need to flesh it out a little bit more. There needs to be something else behind it. Like, I don't see what either of their motivation is other than to be corny as hell.
Yeah, exactly. So they come out and they do a crutch fight. I like that Rhea at least calls Charlotte on her shit. That's fine.
Yeah, fine.
But she looks like a jerk.
Yeah, and it was like them kicking away their crutches was fine. But then they later pick them up and have a sword fight with it. Then it's like, what? It looked good for, like, this could have been a really good spot if it had just been edited a bit. Like, it was given too much time. Like, this could have been a short thing, and I would have been like, great job. But it dragged out.
It's more than it needed to be. Poor Cedric Alexander. Do I really want to get there? Do we want to talk about it?
What happened to Cedric Alexander? I'm trying to remember the match now.
Alexander and Elias versus Riker and R-Truth.
Weird. Again, Riker is the face in this somehow, even though Elias is clearly the better man.
So I saw this on Twitter. Every time there is a quote-unquote problematic wrestler, especially when it comes to racism, pair him with the black guy.
Yeah, always.
Look back to WrestleMania. They put Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil together. And what do they do with R-Truth? They put him with Riker. Good. Thankfully, R-Truth
just walks.
I think Truth was just like, I don't want to do this, and they found a way out, which was have him do the 24/7 run, the escape route, and that's fine. That was the smartest thing.
I mean,
and
again, the same joke for 2 years, though.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's garbage, but in this case, I'm just going to sit there and be like, good enough. Elias gets out of the ring and leaves again. He just leaves again.
Why wrestle?
It's dumb.
Even though you're the
Sheamus is back in action next week. He's going to defend the U.S. title against Humberto Carrillo. We talked about that. Finally, Raw, is Lashley getting soft, Tim? Is he soft?
I don't know. There's a boring way to tell this story. I do like what they're doing with MVP and Kofi. I'm tired of Lashley's ladies. Again, it's the same thing every week.
Well, that's because some people complained about who the ladies were, and they wanted to bring back the same ladies, so they did it. The internet is a powerful place, my friend.
What?
It's not real. I'm just kidding around. Mostly.
Okay. I'm so confused.
But I will say this: from week 1 to week 2, there was enough people complaining about who was in the ladies of Lashley lineup that they brought back the other ones that they liked. They keep bringing them back. It's very funny.
It's the same set of ladies. It doesn't add anything.
So for some reason, Kevin Patrick keeps sneaking in to the locker room parties for MVP and Lashley. And I'm glad that MVP is finally getting wise to it and be like, who let you in?
How do you keep getting in here? I like that. It was funny.
Even before, when they did before the match, when Lashley was doing chin-ups in the Thunderdome, like underneath the LEDs, and Kevin Patrick just walks up to them. MVP just shoots him a look, just like, oh, this motherfucker again. I love it. It's ridiculous. It doesn't work. So at the end of the night, though, Woods and Kofi defeat MVP and Lashley. Kofi pins MVP. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah.
We
makes
know
sense.
what's going to happen to Kofi at Money in the Bank. He's going to lose the match.
100%.
So this was a means to get them through the week, right?
It's fine. This was not that bad.
I just think the promo work has been better in past weeks than tonight.
Yeah,
Or
like
last
I feel like they're not giving the best material. Like Damien, we got to see Damien Priest. He comes in, does the Riddle thing, but the writing doesn't make a damn bit of sense. Like Riddle starts telling a story about a time where he, hurt himself, and he's like, "I don't get what that has anything to do with tonight." Well, you didn't introduce that you were talking about tonight. Really, you were just talking with your friend. Why are you such a dick, Damien Priest? But anyway, doesn't make any sense.
I miss Damien Priest.
Yeah, me too.
It's a shame that he's not on the show very much these days.
Now just making weird things with Riddle.
Yeah, it's a shame that he's not on the show at all. Anyway, you want to preview AEW Dynamite?
Yep.
It's the Road Rager preview, my friend. They're back on the Road Rager.
Okay.
Do you think that the wrestlers all get in their cars and they're like, Road Rager, we can all have road rage on the way and just fight people? No, it's probably not that. You want to talk about the matches then?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right, we're going to start with...
we have 100 times. Let's talk about it some more.
It's going to be the 6-man Rager. It's going to be the Inner Circle against the Pinnacle. Representing Inner Circle, we have Jake Hager, Proud and Powerful. They're going to be with Conan, and they're going to take on the team of Wardlow and FTR with Tully Blanchard. I like this match only because of the way this best of 5 series that you and I started talking about can be structured, in that you're going to do Proud and Powerful LAX versus FTR a bunch of times, and this is kind of a good way to do it.
I didn't even know about this match.
It exists.
I mean, it makes sense. It's fine. I thought it was going to be just Proud and Powerful versus FTR. Or is that in a different one?
Come again?
Is FTR versus Proud and Powerful going to be at another Dynamite that is a different name other than Dynamite, or is
100%?
When the hell did Jake Hager and Wardlow get in the mix?
I mean, again, the Inner Circle and Pinnacle story has, and this is something we've said positively, it's been based on every member of Inner Circle and Pinnacle having a feud with each other.
Yeah.
They're all at least at odds individually instead of just 5-on-5 or 6-on-6.
Okay, this is a good transitional match.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
and it's a good match to have because, again, we're trying to get to all of those New York shows and the North Carolina show where you're going to have, again, these FTR and Proud and Powerful matches. So I'm fine with this. And I'm also fine with the idea that maybe Conan gets a little bit of revenge on FTR for what happened last week, 2 weeks ago.
Couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so I would like to see that. And again, pointing out in the chat, Sammy versus Spears, that's going to happen very soon as well. We did Jake Hager versus Wardlow, the MMA cage match.
Yeah, we did.
There's more going on tonight or tomorrow night with Inner Circle and Pinnacle stuff. So at least when they're putting them together, it fills the show out pretty well, and I'm okay with it.
Yep.
So that's a 6-man. Probably gonna. I don't know if it'll open the show. I think something else will. But instead, we'll talk about a raging debut. Andrade El Idolo is taking on Matt something, also known as Matt Sydal.
Yeah.
What's the over/under on this being a 5-minute match?
You know what? No, the way AEW has been doing things, I think you'll get 7 or 8 minutes. I don't know. What should happen is this should be quick, but I don't think that they want to bury Matt Sydal. I think they want to keep him kind of tough.
I don't think so either. I do think they want to keep Sydal looking good. Yeah. I see in the chat Evan saying that Andrade and Matt Sydal are going to open. I think the tag title match is actually going to open. That's what because they usually have the Bucks open up those matches or those Dynamites. I could be wrong. We'll see, but
they might change it up though. They are pretty good at recognizing when they're getting a little bit repetitive and mixing things up. So unfortunately, sometimes that there was a time when the first match on Dynamite was consistently the best, if not or one of the best, if not the best. But then they started mixing that up a little bit. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be the 6-man tag that opens up as well. So who knows?
Very well.
Yeah, well, let's talk about more tag. We got a mixed tag Rager. It's going to be Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy taking on the Bunny and the Blade. Oh, that's nice. They're married, so they're going to... I like that. Husband and wife are going to team up. They're going to do the thing. That's nice. It'll be better than any of the women's match last week.
Guaranteed. I am excited for that one quite a bit.
Yeah, I like that, they're going to keep telling the Orange Cassidy and the Blade story. That's fine. They have an interesting mix of styles, so I'm like pretty into watching this match. It'll be a good one. And I honestly think that we're starting to build Chris Statlander for a title shot at Full Gear. Yeah. Not at All Out, at Full Gear. I want to go far with this.
Yeah. Yep.
So Statlander pins the Bunny. Is that what you think?
Yeah, I think she needs the win right now, and Bunny just takes pins. That's what she do.
Yeah, poor Bunny. One day she'll be more than Butcher and Blade's third.
Yeah.
She's actually really cool. Allie is. She is
funny. She tells woman. She's very, very funny. Like her face. Her face is just the best. Like when I talk about like not being like, it's not the be all end all for the weekly TV shows, the in-ring action. Like she makes those segments. She elevates those segments for me because her facial expressions are just so funny.
Exactly. And if you want your facials to be wrong one. Just leave a like on the video, okay? Maybe subscribe to us here on YouTube if you would. I'm looking at 205 live taping stuff. We're gonna get more NXT breakout tournament people added this week. Let's continue. AEW Dynamite, the raging standoff. If you haven't figured it out, this is a bit. MJF and Chris Jericho are going to be in the ring together. They're going to talk about the stipulations of the match, MJF's stipulations. We talked about it on SmackPack. What do you think that the stipulations are going to be for Jericho and MJF?
It's going to be an awkward segment where Jericho begs his way into a match with MJF. What do you want? What do you want from me to fight me again? I don't know. Like I said, but, some sort of pool of something that Jericho can relax in to lose.
It's a giant pool of what? A giant pool of MJF scarves?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was thinking fighting a Burberry factory. There you go.
That's right. Oh, what would
they can do some clothing rack bits? Like
they can't do the mimosa stuff anymore for Jericho. So what do you do with Jericho? What could the stipulation be? We talked about it. Loser has to go sit through a Fozzy concert. Loser has to go to Sturgis in the middle of a pandemic. Loser has to read Jericho's 30 Years of Matches book. That's a book that exists now.
I'm trying to think where their interests overlap.
Yeah. Loser has to critique each other's matches on Wrestling Observer Radio.
That sounds brutal.
Okay. You think Eric Bischoff is going to preside on this gimmick?
No.
No? Because he's been like... I don't know, but with Bischoff, they'll bring him in on a whim just for the gimmick.
That's what I mean. I can't even predict. I don't know. Sometimes he's there and sometimes he's not. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I like a little surprise Bischoff.
I think it'd be very funny if they card out Conrad Thompson and just does, chat me up, MJF. What kind of matches do you want to have against Chris Jericho? And MJF is just like, I don't speak. What did he say? He said, I don't speak fat guy or something. He did that once.
Anyway. Something very rude, as MJF does.
Exactly. Well, we did a raging stand up. We're going to have to do a raging sit down.
What? No. Why?
Yeah, JR sitting down with Ethan Page and Darby Allin.
Wait, together?
Yeah. I don't know what to expect.
Can someone please just kick JR into a coffin? Like
I want JR to call Ethan Page Hangman Page.
Yeah.
I want him to mess up and call him Diamond Dallas Page. Yeah. I want JR to basically fumble through the entire
call Darby Derby Allen.
No, I want JR to
call Allen.
I want to call him Sting. Call him Sting.
Yeah. JR.
I was reminded in the chat, MJF called Conrad Thompson turkey tits. That's what it was. Anyway.
That's so much ruder and so much better.
So they gotta call him something. JR will be on his best behavior. He's already apologized. Who knows? I don't know what to expect in this match. They've got a coffin match that's gonna happen at Fyter Fest supposedly if Ethan Page wants it to. I assume it's going to. It's a very strange way.
No physical contact this week, right? So that's the stipulation. Nope. Darby's got to be reserved.
Yes, I don't know what that means for Darby Allin.
Maybe
whatever.
he inflicts psychological torture on Ethan Page by showing him a full feature-length version of one of his movies.
Ethan Page, I recut one of your vlogs and we're gonna watch it together.
It's in black and white now.
It's in black and white now. And
I do stacks or like terrible sketches that look like they should be introduced with "This is Jackass," but they're not interesting or funny at all.
Yeah, and I do agree with the chat. JR does well with these pre-taped like the backstage interviews. But if they do it live in the ring and have like all three men sitting in director's chairs, I'm not gonna enjoy that.
JR doesn't really do the like not behind a table camera stuff often. Like he needs
That's a Tony. Yeah, Tony usually does the in-ring stuff.
Yeah, so I think honestly that'd be a good way to transition JR out, is to have him just do some more of these like backstage sit down things, like the nicer ones, the more well produced ones, and then because I don't think you need a 3-man commentary team. I don't know why this became the norm for both WWE and AEW. I don't care for it.
Yeah, with WWE, they wanted to have 3 men there because what was it? Michael Cole's spin on it was, they wanted to feel like you're just hanging out in your friend's living room and they're talking about wrestling.
It doesn't feel
the
like
moves
that
are
at
secondary.
all.
It
feels nothing like that.
Just saying what he said. Don't necessarily agree with it.
I don't love it. I wish they'd go back to 2. And if AEW really wanted to like differentiate themselves, I think that'd be a good way to do it now.
Yeah, and this has been talked about to death about having the 3 guys doing the 3-man booth. Even the NWA, and
everyone's doing it. It's become the norm. I don't like it at all. Like it was better with 2. I really think it was. With the occasional guest, like you do that thing.
Yeah, I don't know why they do it. It just seems to be the way that they want to do it, and it's not great. It's not my favorite, but some people seem to like it. Whatever. Yeah, let's move on. We've got a World Tag Team Rager. We got the Young Bucks, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, taking on Eddie Kingston and Penta. Now, they could have held off on this for a few weeks. They could have done this at Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen, instead of doing it this week, where honestly it feels like they're just telegraphing the finish for the Young Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm ready for it though, because I know that's what's going to happen anyway.
I guess maybe that's going to be used as a way to continue the Kazarian story. The Elite Hunter.
I think so. Like I think that's part of it. Like I think there's a larger arc with all of the Elite. Because I don't know. I do put a little bit of faith in AEW to deliver on the long payday. So.
Yeah, and people in the chat pointing out that SmackDown and NXT UK have 2-person booths. That's true. They do.
Yeah, and that's because I don't know. You got Michael Cole and you got
Pat
my
McAfee.
God, Pat McAfee. Thank you. So good.
And actually, 205 Live is also a 2-person booth, but again, they just don't have the budget.
Is it Tom Phillips?
No, he's been fired.
Oh yeah, he got fired because they fired the best guy they had on commentary aside from Pat McAfee and Michael Cole.
205 Live is Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness.
Oh,
I didn't realize that.
He's
Nigel
Tom
McGuinness
Phillips.
was there. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Nigel McGuinness was not stationed in the UK. I knew that he moved to LA. I didn't realize that he was like back in town in Florida, but he is. And then what else was there? NXT UK is, I forget his name, Andy Sheffield or something, and Nigel McGuinness. Anyway, so yeah, Kaz will show up. I think this will be the week where the Elite finally like take out Kazarian somehow, like incapacitate him.
Yeah, I think we got to tie those stories all back together. The Eddie and because it's Eddie and Penta, it doesn't like, I don't know. I don't see them becoming tag champions or anything. Like it feels weird. Like Phoenix just keeps getting hurt, so.
Well, that's been the problem, right? You have Phoenix going down. You have Moxley, who his wife just had a baby, so he's kind of doing his thing. This is kind of like you said, it's a tie together now to get things back on track. I think right now is just kind of an interim thing to do while both tag partners were kind of out of it. And Pac is another guy that hasn't been on TV since the pay-per-view. So this is just there to have a bunch of good matches. I just don't think it should have been this week. It could have been in a couple weeks. That's me. And finally, the main event. The Ragin' of Raginist South Beach strap matches.
This is the main event?
I mean, listen, it's the main event in the Codyverse, which has not been on AEW TV.
I think
in 2
maybe
weeks.
the tag titles are going to be the main event.
I think this will be the main event.
Oh, they'll make it the main event.
Or the crossover. Either way. Cody.
Oh.
Cody taking on QT Marshall. Big fan.
You know what? I like Marshall. It's better than Marshall. The whole commentary team can piss off. He's right to request that.
It is the Miami Vice Raging South Beach strap match. I want it to be. I want it
If
to be.
they
the main
just
event
put
so
a
bad.
bunch of lasers and like a neon, like a nylon neon strap. Give me that. Thick piece of nylon. I don't know. Everyone come out in like sweatbands.
Yeah. So what do you think? Is Cody's daughter going to come out, interfere in the match? She's already a worker, according to her, according to her mother.
I keep forgetting this is happening because like Cody hasn't been building it. There's been no Cody for the last 2 weeks, so
Thank God for that.
I know it's not a negative. It's fine. It's just like that's why I don't think it's going to be the main event because they haven't been able to really do the big build. So
I think we'll get into it in a minute why I think it'll main event. QT Marshall has to have backup. I assume Aaron Solo, Nick Comoroto, they all come out and do the thing. Yeah,
it's going to be a big sloppy thing. Maybe Cody gets tied with the strap to like the turnbuckle and they just wail on him.
Oh, I'm fine.
You gotta lionize him, right? Like you gotta make Cody feel like a martyr so that he can come back as Cody Jesus.
He already got his last name back. He doesn't need anything more. But here's what I'm thinking. Cody actually wins the match. Shock to nobody, I know.
Against all odds.
Against all odds. He literally fights off the entire...
all of them. While
the
strapped to
factory.
QT Marshall, who's like dead weight, and he's just dragging his ass around, fighting off Nick and Aaron Solo.
There you go. And the rest of the members of the... Anyway. But then he's going to challenge Miro for the TNT title. And he's going to do it...
You're not God's favorite wrestler. I'm God's favorite wrestler.
I swear to God, he's going to challenge Miro while fireworks are going off around him. A giant U.S. flag goes down behind him and it waves as he patriotically says, Miro, you're not God's favorite champion because God only likes the American way.
Yeah, and a bald eagle flies his baby into his arms.
Yes, Pharaoh has a bald eagle riding him, and the baby is riding the bald eagle. Cody wins and challenges Miro.
Oh my God, no.
Because honestly, at the end of the day, I really think that Andrade is going to challenge for the TNT title, not the AEW World title. And it can't be Miro and Andrade.
No, you can't take it from Miro right now. He needs this. He needs this.
He does. But I'm saying if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Cody wins.
Cody, spend time with your baby.
Yeah, God forbid. It's going to be Cody
just a
wins.
month or two.
Cody wins the title from Miro. Andrade wins the title from Cody. It's not going to be quick. It can build it up for a little bit. But I really think there's your lineage for the TNT title. But I also mentioned this. I floated this in the Impact stream. And people were like taking it seriously until I completely swerved them on it. If you have Kenny Omega come out with the Impact title and the AAA title, all these titles, and Cody comes out and confronts Kenny. And he says, Kenny, I want that world title. And Kenny says, well, you can't challenge for the AEW world title. You can't.
Change the rules mid-game.
You can't. And Cody says, I don't want the AEW world title. I want the Impact world title.
The heart and soul of Impact Wrestling, Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes becomes the heart and soul of Impact Wrestling.
I'd be fine with that. I would be totally okay with that. I don't think Cody would be because there's no pyro in the studio that they shoot.
They'll go on the road soon enough, I hope. They'll do simulated pyro. Simulated dogs. Yeah, so I don't know about that one, but I do think that it's Cody, Miro, and everything. We clown on Cody because, quite frankly, he has a clownable character. As a human being, by all accounts, while he is very much lacking in self-awareness much of the time, he cares. He cares.
Yeah. Minus, not enough to allow anyone to unionize, and he's staunchly anti-union. And he's nowhere near self-aware enough to come out. He walked out as the literal villain of a comic book that is supposed to represent American fascism. Anyway, What a cartoon character of a man. But he seems, on the whole, an okay person.
Yeah. Let's talk about NXT. We got the Great American Bash tonight. I very simply run it down. If you're in our Discord, you can toss your predictions in there before the show starts. And if you want to join the Discord anyway, it's in the link in the video. Toss us a like on this while you're here. Subscribe to us if you haven't yet. Let's talk Great American Bash. First of all, the set looks awesome. Very excited for that. Cross and Gargano are going to have a face-off. It's not a match. They'll probably do it in 2 weeks. Yeah. They got to make Gargano. They got to reinforce him as a face.
Yeah, I think it's yeah. He'll crack some jokes. Like the segment they did last week was good for that, where he just got his ass choked out.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've been doing a good job with Gargano. I really dig what they're doing with him. They're building this the right way, I think. So,
does Samoa Joe's involvement in this storyline with Gargano and Cross kind of take away from Johnny and his turning?
I don't think so. I think it's good. I think it's funny. I think they do good beats, and him just being like, "Oh, you really stepped in it this time," type thing. I think having him there as a presence is okay.
We've said it 100 times. The play here is to do Cross and Gargano, just have Cross go into SummerSlam TakeOver, drop the belt to Cool Kyle. Speaking of which, Cool Kyle takes on Adam Cole Bay. What do we do? Let's say that Cole wins this one. What's the third match? What's the stipulation? They've already done the unsanctioned. They've done this is a traditional wrestling match tonight. What do we do? What's the next stipulation? Is it a cage? What was that?
It's the belt.
The belt. Oh no.
Yeah, I know. That or Adam Cole can finally move his ass to a different brand.
I was gonna say, if Adam Cole loses tonight for the second time, you have to assume he's gone. He goes somewhere else. Is that what we're gonna go for?
I think so. Like, again, as much as some of them don't want to do that, they don't really have a say if they want to remain employed. So,
I mean, it's simple with Adam and Kyle. They hate each other. They want to have matches. They want to kill each other, and there's no title on the line. They just have problems with each other for the way that Adam Cole disbanded the UE. I get that. Let's get to MSK and Tommy and Timmy for the NXT tag titles. The face-off last week was really lame. Chairs, chatter. I was yawning. I didn't like it.
They love chucking chairs. They do.
They love throwing chairs.
They just love it.
So according to the CWC, when you're there live, MSK, they're the heels. It's time for them to lose those titles.
Yeah, whatever it is, I don't know what it is. The people in Florida aren't a fan. I love them. I think they're fine. I think they're great.
They are. But you know what? If they lose the titles now and they chase again, Tommy and Timmy as the champions, they're already being cheered. So you had them as a month or two champion as MSK regains the titles, or if Hit Row is ready,
all the gold.
Hit Row takes it.
Yeah, I don't mind MSK not having the belts because they're so talented. Like, I don't think they absolutely need them.
Speaking of Hit Row, this is something I love.
Hit Row. Every
So
time.
Swerve,
that tag is so good.
So Swerve wins the North American Championship last week. We thought it would happen at Great American Bash, but here we are. Still got it.
I like that.
It was a really, really good match last week. I'm excited to see Bronson Reed go up to Raw or SmackDown. I still think they should have debuted him in a qualifier match for Money in the Bank over on SmackDown. That would have been a fire way to introduce him to the audience.
Well, it would also mean that he gets to do something once being moved up instead of just sitting around waiting in the wings.
100%. Doesn't work for me. So, as a result, this week we're doing the Hit Row Championship Cypher. They don't do this shit ever. For those who don't know what a cypher is, it's basically a group of like rappers and singers and artists getting together and like collaborating together in ring. In this case,
I not know this,
dude. This is something. It's cool. It's progressive for WWE. It's
cool.
As long as it doesn't end with Bronson Reed like coming out and asking for a rematch, it'll be a good show. It'll be a good segment. I'm a fan of that. We saw a tease of it on socials. If you go over to Swerve socials, it's really good. Speaking of really good, I'm looking forward to the NXT women's tag titles tonight. Io Shirai, Zoe Stark take on the team of Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. The way, dude, I don't know what to expect other than a great match.
Yeah, it's hard to call this one.
Let's talk about the battery.
The battery?
The battery. Every week for the last 3 weeks.
The battery. There's that battery. They keep showing a stupid battery.
If this match is the crossover match, the hour crossover match, Tegan Nox is the battery indicator. Because this, by all accounts, it's been going up every hour, including the final segment. It's been going up 10%, and we're getting now the final 100%
Well,
is
we're at
when
80.
we hit.
We're at 80.
We're
now?
at 80, so we're getting to 90 to start the show, and then there you go. Unless they mess around with it, so it's Tegan Nox, by the way, who worked a dark match last night before Raw against Toni Storm, which means Tegan Nox is cleared.
Yeah.
But what if it's somebody else? What if the battery is Finn Balor?
Very well could be.
He's
got some R&R. Now he's back.
He's got to get his battery charged before he goes off and has a kid of his own, because that's coming too.
Oh, just stay home then.
What if it's the finest? What if it's Kona Reeves making his long-awaited NXT return?
That's the guy with the huge mouth in the thumbnail?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know anything about this guy. Is he good? Is he talented?
I mean, he's talented, but he's not super well known or popular. But he made himself a meme, and that was good enough for people.
Okay, that's something.
Or could it be a complete surprise? Maybe it's Kaylee Ray.
Oh yeah, because we haven't seen her since the lost to Micah.
She lost that title on June the 10th. They started the battery segments on, I think it was June 16th or whatever that next week was. If it's Kaylee Ray, I would be very well surprised, because they don't have the NXT women's title on the line.
Yep.
They don't have any segments for Raquel. That could be the Kaylee Ray return, or the Kaylee Ray debut.
Yeah, because maybe she's calling her shot for next, since we don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah. So those are my four. It's all going to come down to timing. Tegan Nox is right now a little bit more obvious because of the working the dark match, and she's cleared and all that. But the other three are still very much in contention. Let's face it, like Kona Reeves probably not, but the others are very much in contention. Go back to the Shirai and Stark match against Hartwell and LeRae. What do? We know that the Way are going to retain, right? Is that what we're going for?
Wait, yes, because I don't think that Io and Zoe Stark are going to have the tag titles, because they're both going to be singles competitors.
Is one going to turn on the other?
Maybe Io turns on Zoe.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'd be more interested in that. I think Zoe still has a lot of work to do in terms of the promo stuff to do like a decent heel job.
I think it's the other way around. I think Zoe Stark, if there's a turn, is the one to turn.
Okay.
Io is still so beloved in NXT that it's hard to turn her without some like ridiculous mouth.
Maybe she wants the challenge.
Maybe, but Zoe's not big enough of a star yet and cheered enough.
Yeah, it's true.
To make it make sense. So it could work. Yeah, it could work. So it's still strange to me that Johnny and Austin Theory are the faces and Indy and Candice are the heels. Whatever.
That's okay.
Let's talk about LA Knight. Yeah.
$1
million titles on the line. LA Knight and Cameron Grimes.
And Butlerdom.
Yes, I was getting to that. If Grimes loses the match, he is LA Knight's butler.
Butlerdom.
So Grimes is losing his.
Yep. Then I look forward to those segments. That sounds comical.
Do it for the lulz. I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Are we making predictions? Have we been making predictions?
You know what? No. We're gonna run it down the card, and then you got to go to the Discord to get our predictions. Join the Discord. It's in the link in the video. And if you do this, if you're listening to us after the fact, you can still join the Discord by going to the link in the video and joining the Discord and seeing the predictions, because guess what? They'll still be there, and you can make fun of us if we're wrong about everything or praise us if we're right about everything. Grimes breaking out is the big play in late August, because we can do this Butler thing for as long as we can. It'll build up heat for LA Knight. It'll build sympathy for Cameron Grimes. And next thing you know, Grimes breaks free, and I don't know what you do next with him.
Yeah, straight to the moon.
Yeah, there you go. I have it here as we start to wind down. Last week's match, the Mercedes Martinez and Jake Atlas against Xia Li and Boa. Boy, did Martinez get knocked out last week.
It was a mighty fine kick.
Xia Li's kickboxing career is off to a great start.
Completely unprotected. Kick
I don't
to the
know.
jaw. My God.
Tim, I don't know if you know the story. Last year, I think it was around this time last year, Xia Li was supposed to be in a shoot kickboxing fight.
I think we had started doing this when she was when that was in the talks, because we were talking about that in the early days.
And she got pulled from it because WWE found out about it, because it was super underground. So WWE found out about it, and she was pissed off, and she's like, well, give me a chance to prove myself in NXT. And now obviously she is, but man, she nailed Martinez with that roundhouse kick. And I hope she's okay. I hope Martinez is okay.
It was a good kick. It was a good kick, but damn, she went down.
Oh boy.
Whew, no hands up.
The NXT breakout tournament participants, we have 2 confirmed. We talked about on the show, Joe Gacy, aka Bargain Basement Aleister Black, you'll see. Yeah, okay. And Andre Chase, the former Harlem Bravado, who many people will look at and say, that is Lin-Manuel Miranda, and you cannot tell me otherwise.
Is he at least more buff than Lin-Manuel Miranda?
They're similar builds. You go look them up. You'll see. You'll see.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
Now I'm going to give you some scoops. I'm not going to spoil it. But tonight on taped for 205, you've got Josh Briggs taking on Asher Hale in a qualifier, and you got Grayson Waller taking on Odyssey Jones. For those of you who need to know, my rumored / who I want in this breakout tournament include Waller and Hale. We got to get 8 men in here, okay? I'm going to add you here. Trey Baxter, Carmelo Hayes, Ikman Jiro, Ari Sterling, and I'm going to add my wild horse, my black stallion. What's the word? It's not a wild horse. It's not a black stallion.
No, is this a horse racing thing? I've never watched a horse.
My wild card, my dark horse.
Dark horse, that's the
dark horse.
No, I am familiar with that idiom though. Okay.
Sean Tan recently reported to the PC. Sean Tan was known as Trexus in Singapore Pro Wrestling, where he held some titles.
Trexus. That's a much
I know, it's a weird name. 25 years old, young kid. Well, that's his real name. That's his shoot name. Okay, so maybe don't make fun of a shoot name. Anyway.
Well, that's fine. Just don't use it in ring.
Tan is new. Tan is recently reported to the PC. I doubt he's going to be in. I still think it's going to be Ari Sterling more than him. But I would like to see it because he's a young kid. He just started and he has the experience. So maybe that's there. Who knows? I doubt it though. Either way, that's what we're looking at for the breakout tournament. I'm looking forward to that tournament starting very soon on NXT TV. Until then, Tim, where can the kids find you on the internet? Unless you want to add something.
No.
Cool.
Put Parker Bordeaux in it. Please.
So I will murder you.
I just want to see you react. He's going to... Oh, man. Somehow, then WWE is going to try and copyright that stupid purple devil emoji.
I hate you so much.
Anywho, if you want, you can find me at TimStoneP, TimbStonep on Twitter.
Shows at Tim and Joel Pod. I'm at Joel Pearl, JoelPerl. Roderick Strong has signed a new deal with NXT.
Whoa!
Credit to Fightful Select. Credit to Fightful Select for the scoop ski. It's in your select inbox right now. Until then, ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, we'll see you on Sunday at noon Eastern for SmackPack. Come and join the Discord. Let's talk about some wrestling, all right? Have a good night, folks.